Hello students, myself Nimesh Prabhakar. Welcome to Antenna and Propagation lecture series. In my previous lecture, I complete chapter number 13. So in that chapter, we have discussed about the antenna for special application like antenna for satellite communication, antenna for mobile communication. Now we start new chapter, chapter number 14. So in this chapter, we discuss about the antenna measurement technique. So here we discuss about the gain measurement, phase measurement, polarization measurement technique. So now we start the antenna measurement part 1. Now first of all question come in our mind, what is the need of the antenna measurement? Why we uh, why we do the measurement? So to analyze different antenna pattern, we have to do the antenna measurement. Then next one need is to calibrate and store data for different antenna. Then third one is to adjust critical component and dimension in the antenna system. We require the antenna measurement. Next one is to confirm antenna design. So when we design antenna, so it is exact design or not, our desired design is not or not, we can see by using antenna measurement technique. Now next one, to control the quality of system, we require the antenna measurement. To indicate the actual antenna performance, we have to measure the antenna performance. Now next one is to determine the analytical and statistical error. Now we discuss some drawback in antenna measurement technique. So which are that? So first one drawback is the size, weight and the volume of antenna make it impractical to move it from operating environment to measuring site. So when we measure the antenna, so generally we measure the antenna in our lab. So we get some output like we measure the gain, and now we have to use that antenna in a practical environment. So sometimes it is not match the desired condition for that. Now next one is the for large antenna at a high frequency, the pattern measurement become very difficult. Now next one, it is very difficult to keep the reflection from the ground and the other object below acceptable level. Next one drawback is the outside measurement equipment are not capable of handling uncontrolled all weather environment. Now next one drawback is the enclosed measuring system for compact range cannot accommodate large antenna system including ship, aircraft, spacecraft. Now next one drawback is the time required to measure antenna characteristic is uncontrollable. And last one drawback is the cost factor in the measurement technique is too high. So these are the drawback in the antenna measurement. Now we discuss the method to overcome drawback. How we can overcome this drawback? So the far field pattern of the antenna is determined from the measurement carried for near field. Now the next one is the measurement are made using the scale model. So we can overcome drawback. Next one, automated measuring instrument are used to reduce the error. Now next one is the computer technique are used along with the advanced automated measuring equipment. So by using the computer technique, we can overcome the drawback of the measurement technique. Now we discuss about the useful technique for antenna measurement. First one technique is taper anechoic chamber. Second one is compact and extrapolation range. Third one is improve polarization technique. Now next one is near field probing technique. Next one is the indirect measurement of antenna characteristic. Next one is swap frequency techniques. Next technique is automated test system. So these are the techniques we useful for the antenna measurement. Now, basic concept of antenna measurement. Here, in general, the important measurement parameter of the antenna are gain, directivity, radiation pattern, polarization, etc. The antenna under stage, that means in the short form we can write as a AUT, is considered to be located at the origin of the coordinate system. So here in this figure, the antenna under test, that means AUT, we have placed at the origin of the coordinate system. The source antenna is placed at the different location with respect to AUT. So here in this figure we can see this is a source antenna. We have placed at the distance between the AUT, that means antenna under test, and the source antenna is the R. At a different location, the number of samples of the pattern are obtained. Now, source of error in the antenna measurement. So, error due to finite measurement distance between the antenna. The reflection from the surrounding is also produced the error. Error due to the coupling in the reactive near field. Then error due to the misalignment of the antenna. Now next one source of error is due to the man-made interference. Now next one source of error is the atmospheric effect. Next one error is due to the cable. Now next error is produced due to the impedance mismatch. And last, the error is due to the imperfection of instrument. So, and last, the error is due to the imperfection of instrument. So, these are the source of error. Due to this, the error is produced. Now, measurement of radiation pattern of antenna. So, first parameter we have here try to measure is the radiation pattern. So, here we discussed the technique for the measurement of the radiation pattern. Any point P on such sphere can be described using a spherical coordinate system as shown in this figure. Basically, for representation of a point on the surface, only theta and phi specification are sufficient because sphere with constant radius is considered. Thus, the radiation characteristic of the antenna as a function of theta and phi for the constant radius and the frequency is called radiation pattern of antenna. Now we discuss about the horizontal antenna radiation measurement technique. So for horizontal antenna, following patterns are required. The phi component of electric field as a function of phi is measured in an XY plane, that means theta is equal to 90 degree. The field component can be represented as a E phi, that means theta is equal to 90 degree and phi, and it is called E-plane pattern. The phi component of electric field as a function of theta is measured in the XZ plane. The field component can be then represented as a E phi, and it is called H-phi pattern. Now, next one we discuss about the for vertical antenna following pattern are required. The theta component of electric field measured in the XY plane, that means theta is equal to 90 degree, as a function of phi. The field component can be represented as a E theta, where the theta is equal to 90 degree phi, and it is called the H-plane pattern. The theta component of electric field is measured as a function of phi in xz plane. Then the field component can be represented as a E theta, and it is called the E-plane pattern. Now, basic procedure for the antenna radiation pattern measurement. Two antennas we have to require to measure the radiation pattern. One antenna under test, that means we know that the AUT antenna under test, while the other illuminate the antenna under test and it is located away from the antenna under test. The antenna under test is usually referred as a primary antenna, while the other one as a secondary antenna. So AUT, it is also known as the primary antenna, and other antenna we can say as a secondary antenna. Now we discuss the method. The antenna under test is kept stationary, while the secondary antenna is moved around the primary antenna. Now, second step, at a different point, the reading of the field strength are measured. And last one, then from this reading, a plot of the radiation pattern is plotted. The setup for the measurement of the radiation pattern of the antenna we can see in this figure. The simple arrangement for radiation pattern measurement consists primary antenna is transmitting mode, secondary antenna as an antenna under test. The secondary antenna is coupled with the rotating staff and it is rotated using the antenna rotator mechanism. Now, measurement of the radiation pattern. So, uniform distance requirement. According to the standard condition, the distance between the two antennas should be R is greater than or equals to 2d square by lambda. So, we have this requirement is met. So, the distance between the two antennas must be, according to this condition, R is greater than or equals to 2d square by lambda. Here this R is indicate the distance between the transmitting and receiving antenna, that means transmitter and receiver, and D is indicate the maximum dimension of physical aperture, and lambda is indicate the wavelength. Now from this figure, we can, by using the Pythagoras law, we can write R plus delta square is equals to D by 2 square plus R square. Now we simplify this equation. So in the left hand side we can write R square plus 2R delta plus delta square is equals to D square by 4 plus R square. Now we try to solve this equation. So we can write 2R delta is equal to D square by 4 into 8. So we get the R is equals to D square by 8 delta. Now precaution. So to measure the radiation pattern, we have to take some precaution. So first one precaution is the distance between the transmitter and the receiver must be R greater than or equal to 2d square by lambda. Antenna under test, that means AUT, must be illuminated uniformly. Any type of reflection such as ground reflection should be avoided. Now fourth one precaution is measurement should be carried out in the sealed chamber. And last one precaution is transmitting antenna should have high gain with minimum side lobe and should be able to produce uniform wavefront. So these are the precautions we have to take before we have to measure the radiation pattern of the antenna. Now we discuss the main important parameter measurement. The main important parameter is the gain of the antenna. So here we discuss about the measurement of the gain of the antenna. The performance of any antenna can be described in terms of the gain of antenna. To measure gain above 1 GHz, free space range are used. Between 0.1 to 1 GHz range, the ground reflection range are conveniently used. There are two methods used for the measurement of the gain of the antenna. First one method is gain transfer method, or it is also known as the direct compression method. And second one technique is absolute gain method. So first one we discuss about the direct compression method. In this method, the gain measurement is done by comparing the strength of the signal transmitted or received by the antenna under test and the standard gain antenna. The setup of gain measurement by the comparison method is as shown in this figure. This method uses two antennas, termed as a primary and secondary antenna. There are two setups to measure gain. There are two steps to measure gain. So first one step we discussed, through the switch SW, standard gain antenna is connected to the receiver. The input connect to the secondary antenna is adjusted to required level. Then for this input, corresponding primary antenna reading at the receiver is recorded. Then corresponding attenuator and the power bridge reading are recorded as A1 and P1. And second one step is the antenna under test, that is AUT, is connected to the receiver by changing the position of switch SW. Then to get the same reading at the receiver, the attenuator is adjusted. Then corresponding attenuator and the power bridge reading are recorded as A2 and P2. So in a two-step, we get A1, P1 and A2 and P2. Now, case 1. If the P1 is equals to P2, then no correction need to be applied and the gain of the subject antenna under test is given by power gain is equals to A2 by A1. Taking log on the both the side. Now we take log on the both the side. So we can write the log base 10 GP is equals to log base 10 A2 by A1. And by using the logarithmic property, we can write the log A2 minus log A1. So we can simply write the gain in dB is equals to A2 in dB minus A1 in the dB. Now case 2 we discuss here. If the P1 is not equals to P2, then the correction need to be included. Let P1 by P2 is equals to P. Then we can write the log P1 by P2 is equals to P in dB. Hence the power gain is given by G is equals to GP P1 by P2. So we know that GP is the A2 by A1 and P1 by P2. Now we're taking the log on the both the side. So we can write the log G is equals to log GP into P1 by P2. So by using the logarithmic property, we can write the log 10 GP plus log P1 by P2. So finally we get the equation for the gain measurement G in dB is equals to GP in dB minus P in dB. Now measurement of the absolute gain. Now here we measure the absolute gain by using a two antenna method. Consider two antennas separated by distance r as shown in this figure. As the two antennas are identical, we can write AET is equals to AER is equals to GD lambda square upon 4 pi. Here the AET and AER is the effective aperture for transmitting and the receiving antenna. From Friis transmission formula, we can write PR upon PT is equals to AET into AER upon lambda square into R square. So we can write for the AET and AER value, we have put this GD lambda square by 4 pi, GD lambda square upon 4 pi and 1 upon lambda square R square. So when we simplify the equation, we can write the PR upon PT is equals to GD dot lambda upon 4 pi R whole square. So when we simplify this equation, we can write GD by lambda 4 pi R is equals to under root PR upon PT. So we can simply write that GD is equals to 4 pi R upon lambda under root PR upon PT. By knowing wavelength, distance between the two antenna, that means R, and measuring the radiated and received power, the absolute gain of the antenna can be obtained. So this is the two antenna measurement method of the measurement of the absolute gain. So here we have discussed about the antenna measurement part 1. Thank you.